with TT on Hot 97, #1 for hip hop. My special guest today, Mia Jaye, is here.
Yes.
She is the wife of the legendary Young Dolph. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling blessed.
I know this is a difficult time for you with the holidays and the trial going on and everything that you had to deal with up until this point. I just want to send my love to you and your family because I can't imagine myself being in your shoes and have to deal with something so tragic, but also something so very public.
Right.
And that's a lot. Grief in itself is hard to deal with, but then you have to deal with it on a scale of everybody watching.
Everybody watching, right?
Yeah.
No,
How
for
are you navigating these waters and also parenting your kids through this difficult time?
For sure. I think, to be honest, the public part, I mean, that's definitely a part of it, but I think it's the purpose that I was given, that really, really kind of makes it, I'm not going to just say challenging, but that's the part where challenges do come. It's that, I have this movement called Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, and that was placed on my lap before Adolph passed. I started it because of my brother, but when you experience loss and you've been brought about so much pain, but then you've given a voice and a purpose, and you're advocating for the very thing that took the people that you love so much away. That's been the part that I've had difficulty with, because it's like, as much as I want to recluse and kind of grieve my own way, go in my bubble, I can't, because it's like I have something to carry out. I have a mission. I have a purpose, and it's so illuminated through my loss. And so that's the part that has made it, then the public is watching as I carry this out, being a mother, carrying on his Adolph's legacy, and just all of the variations that goes along with. That's been, difficult, but the thing is, I can say that I've received grace to be able to get through.
Yeah.
And
it was almost as if God was preparing you.
For sure.
For this moment. And I do believe that God makes no mistakes.
I agree.
And the fact that you had this organization, Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, the fact that you've dealt with grief and pain through the loss of your brother. And I'm sorry, I don't know the backstory of what happened to him, but I'm sure that was a period in your life that was also very heavy, losing someone so close to you.
For sure. And it did. It was a year before. I lost my brother in May of 2020. And then November of 2021, Dolph follows, right? But I feel like I was being prepared just as well, because, like I said, I started this in honor of my brother. I started BMDTGO in honor of my brother. And just because I recognized an issue, it was just staring me in my face. I experienced it. I would talk to girls back from home. I'm from Detroit. What up, though?
I was going to say, you look like a Detroit girl.
I am a Detroit girl.
You got the swag.
Detroit
girls do not play,
we don't.
Okay?
We don't come to play. We don't come to play.
They do not. Most beautiful girls in the world, Detroit girls do not come to play. I get along with Detroit girls really well. I think it's the hustle mentality.
It's the hustle mentality.
Yeah.
I feel the vibe.
Yeah, it's a hustle mentality. Detroit girls play no games.
No games.
But I love that. So you were prepared. Mentally, and you started this organization because you saw a need for it. And then when your brother passed away, you took the mission even further.
I did. And I wanted, like I said, talking to girls back from home and stuff who experienced oh, my brother died too, or my child's father died too, or my husband or my uncle, all of this different type of stuff.
And it was because of gun violence. The mission is surrounded. Let's talk a little bit about that so people can get a clear understanding of what the mission is about.
So the mission is, behind Black Men Deserve to Grow Old, is it starts within our community. It's talking to one another. And the thing is, intraracial crime, some people don't like for it to, that's the politically correct term, but black on black crime, people don't like to talk about it. It does happen within your neighborhoods, right? And your own, your own blocks and stuff. However, it happens so much in ours. Black men are 20 times more likely to be killed between the ages of 0 and 44. Wow. Than any other, nationality, and that's a problem. And it's premature deaths, violence, and all of that. And it's it's like a genocide we're doing within our own community. And it's who's going to speak on it? Mm-hmm. I can remember watching Spike Lee movies back in the day trying to talk about the things that were happening, from drugs to violence that was impacting our communities at large. And that voice, even if we weren't listening, it was like somebody was speaking up and trying to do something, creating art to raise awareness. But we've lost that. And it's only, it's just some of everything that's really taken us further into like just degradation and just a dark place and just like this further in this genocide. And so with that being said, it's like I now have to use my voice. Now that I've been stripped of so much, brought so much pain into my life, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be illuminated. I don't want to be visible. This ain't not about me. That's not what I want to do.
You want to do the work. You want to see real change happen.
I do want to see real change, but I'm saying even with that, like, I never wanted to be here, have to go through the losses that I had to, because like for me to be here today, I had to go through those losses. I didn't want none of that. Like if God would have to have a conversation with me, like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on, you're gonna be talking to TT, you're gonna be talking to this person, that person, you're gonna go to the White House, but this was gotta happen. I would have said, find somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here, but I have to.
Yeah.
I'm called. It's like Call of Duty. I have
it's
a
your
duty.
Purpose.
It's my purpose.
God called you into this purpose, and now you're stepping into it and leading in that purpose.
Exactly.
And sometimes you can fight against it, or you can shift with that purpose.
Exactly.
And although you experience tragedy, the beauty in all of this is now that you will be able to experience life by saving lives.
Exactly.
With the work that you're doing and getting the message out there and being able to talk to these Black men to love each other, love your community, uplift your community. Everybody deserves the opportunity to grow old. And
Sure.
and I love that, and I love that mission. Is there a website or anything that people can go to check out the cause, or sign a petition, or sign up to volunteer?
All of that. We got all of that. If you go to blackmendeservetogrowold.com or BMDTGO, it's an acronym for Black Men Deserve to Grow Old. Go there. You can sign a petition. The petition is for justice for Dolph, because there's so many things that I'm finding and have found and done research where there's just injustices that allow for this thing to keep perpetuating itself. Like where these defendants are out on bonds and bills, and they're out on a bond, but you're able to you're committing more crimes. Like you're facing attempted murder or not a capital murder, but a murder charge. But you're out. You get a slap on the wrist, and you out here, and you're able to do it again and again and again. Like the person who took my brother's life, he was on his 5th offense when he took my brother's life, and that. The statistics show that is like kind of becoming a norm and have become a norm. And those are the types of things. It's like, sign this petition, Justice for Dolph, because that wasn't the exact same thing of the defendants that were involved in Dolph's case that's locked up right now. But it's very similar. It's like if you look at their track record, it's like they've done some other things that's like, bro, how are you even out here?
How are you outside
with
all the things that you have committed prior to this?
Exactly. Or with what you committed before, like,
is that not heinous enough?
Yeah, like it's like, or you got 2 years, you did this small amount of time. It's like, bro, like, have we even rehabilitated these people before releasing them back?
What type of resources are we pumping into our community so that they actually have rehabilitation when they come home? Because we know that the prison system is not set up to really rehabilitate, especially when it comes to Black and brown people.
Exactly.
And systematically, the resources that are in our community are significantly lower than any other community that we know here in the U.S.
Facts.
So what type of resources are we pulling into these communities at a very young age so that these kids can grow and see themselves or love themselves enough to know that they don't have to commit crimes in order to survive? Mm-hmm. Because I firmly believe no child wakes up and say, I want to be a fucking criminal today. Exactly. I want to kill somebody today. What has happened throughout the years is that they be in these environments with low resources and lack of stability, and they morph into these other people. Exactly. And then they go down these paths of crime.
And a lot of the resources that be necessary, like I was just listening to Charleston White and Cam Newton's interview, and Charleston made a very valid point. He was like, young boys, right, when you're lacking a father or mentorship, right, that you go through a period in your life where you can get very angry about how things are going. And mothers, like you do something, you will respond, and you'll get your butt whooped, right?
Yeah.
However, that's not always the best approach. You need to be able to help them to channel that anger in a certain type of way. And it's a lot of people, and he said that his brother was like 10 and said, yeah, when I get older, I'm going to kill somebody. But he was angry, and his mom whipped him, and he was like, my mother, I feel like, she should have done more to try to redirect that energy. And when he got 17, he killed somebody.
Wow.
I'm saying that to say that I think it's the traumas that we grow, like our communities, our young Black boys, what they're to grow up in, like their environment. It's so much that's put on young people.
The pressure,
absolutely. The pressure. And it's just like, what outlets? So with those resources, we need outlets. We need proper like healing mechanisms and things like, it's so much that's needed.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying this particular organization, it starts with people like, where you start within the politics, we not starting there. Because it's so much corruption, it's so much this, they're so convoluted at that level. Like we need to start in our own backyard and really try to pinpoint what resources we need to bring to our community, implement
and
those.
And it could be as simple as parenting skills, right?
Like
because not every kid deserves a whipping, right? Yeah. Not every kid deserves that type of treatment, but also their healing energy may be needed in other places. You know what I mean? And so, like, it definitely takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community, it takes a teacher, seeing a young child and pushing them into the right place. Because like you said, there is a point to, like, sometimes when they get of age, there is anger because maybe they want this from themselves and just don't know how to get there. Mm-hmm. And so now they're just so frustrated because where do they go? I mean, the mom's doing the best that she can. The dad, like...
If he's there.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on and what does justice look like for you and your family? Is it okay if I call Young Dolph Young Dolph?
Yeah,
or you?
For sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're comfortable with that and not calling him his government name.
Thank you for asking.
Tell me a little bit more about what's happening with his case in particular.
So, as much as I can divulge, right now, it's going through the motions or whatnot, and what justice looks like for me is that due diligence is performed. As a victim, it's a thing called like the Victim's Bill of Rights. I didn't know about it either until I had to come here. But it's certain things within those Bill of Rights that, like, notify the family, right? It's been things where we've been notified via social media about things, and that's a problem. Like, that's not cool, right? And so that's in like what, if you want to be like, well, like what? Like the judge reclusing himself, like, that was something that I did not know. It was like, wait, what? People asking me, and I'm just like, when
and it was released on social media before the victims got to know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, so it's things like that. It's certain things that I just feel like, hey, communicate with us. Mm-hmm. I do not want to look on the internet or people sending me stuff and it's like, wait, what? That's not cool, right? And it's just I'm like, respect us, have enough respect for us as a grieving family that still wants closure to like come to us and make sure like somebody get in contact with us, right? So that was one of my issues. But again, like I said, justice looks like, really holding people accountable, like getting to the bottom of like, don't just create a narrative that just fits and you can put people in places and do a couple deals and whatever that looks like, to satisfy whatever system is behind every to all. Yeah. That's not going to be good enough for me. Yeah. It's not going to be somebody who can be a fall guy. It needs to be full due diligence had. And
what's frustrating you most about his case?
I mean, it really hasn't started. So it hasn't started. Everything right now is just kind of preliminary or whatever. It's not slated to start until next year. But like I said...
But the dealings of it up until this point. So they arrested the suspects. And did Dolph know these people?
I'm sure he did. Memphis is small. Everybody know everybody. So.
Matter of fact, just real quick, Memphis, congratulations to your new Memphis mayor. He's a dear friend of mine, Paul. Shout out to him. Very nice guy. So I went to visit Memphis for the first time last year. Okay. And he gave me like a tour of the city, and then he became mayor, which I'm like really happy about. But yes, Memphis is very small from my experience with my visit there. So I'm sure they ran in kind of like the same circles.
I'm sure whoever is behind it all, he knows them. I wouldn't be surprised if he knows them very well, like or knew them, been around them a good bit or whatever. So I don't have the details. I don't have the facts. I probably said something on my socials where people allude to me knowing more. It's like, listen,
Yeah, because you did go viral. You did go viral when you were speaking with regard to the slow pace of the case and, a hurt person, a jealous person. And I think that went viral. People took that and maybe thought that you knew more or the case was happening
you got
that time.
It's just going off of like everybody else. We know facts. Adolph was shot 2017. It was things that happened in 2015, like 26, like all these things that led up. Do I know if all of this is connected? Do I know? No. Could I presume? Yes. Can I assume all of that? Yes. So where I'm speaking from, I'm not speaking from any facts. I don't know no more than the assumptions of the public. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, if that has anything to do with it, that's where I was speaking from.
Yeah.
So if it's associated to any of the past incidents, that's what I'm speaking from. And if I look at that, people have sent me the most heinous, crazy stuff, and trying to like provoke, and I really don't look at that stuff or whatever. But every now and then I'll see it, and it'll probably be like, well, he talks stuff in his songs, and I'm like, I know plenty of people. I'm looking at 50 today, tomorrow, talking, clowning people, whatever.
Yeah.
That don't mean that he deserved to die for anything. I wouldn't. It's like,
but that's where you will want if you want something to play out, if you are frustrated about something, or if you are experiencing something, you want to get it out in a creative way, not through killing somebody.
Yeah, like,
you want to express yourself through music and art, because that's what it's there for. It's to express yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I would rather you express yourself in music and art than picking up a gun and shooting somebody.
But it's a lot of people that's out here that feels like if you go that route, and if a feeling get hurt, you disrespect, which I was up there saying in my live that day, like, people be so big on what is disrespectful, but it'd be like, you do so much, the same person who be yelling, you disrespecting me and want to take a life, it's like, you do so much disrespectful stuff in your life. You probably be calling your mama a B, you probably be calling your girl your B, you do all of these disrespectful things, but now you standing on business about disrespect, and you want to take somebody's life because your feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
Your ego got bruised. So that's what I was meaning. Not to say anybody particular. That wasn't saying that I knew who did it, but I'm saying if you want to say that, like, actions are justifiable based on the music that you made or the things that you said, I'm like, I don't think that's justifiable. I don't think that, none of these people, like,
it's
anybody.
not justifiable.
Like, it's not justifiable.
And we shouldn't make excuses for that. Music is art. It is for you to express yourself, and it's not justifiable. You don't justify that by killing someone.
No,
it's
you
just there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, because you can't even, it's like you can get over that hurt of that song. You can get hurt of that, you being trolled on the internet. You can get over that. Life will go on. But when you take that life, no life is going on no more.
Yeah.
It's not justifiable. So like I said, if you got a bruised ego, I was up there saying on my live, like, go home and cry about it. Yeah. You'll get over it. It hurt a little bit. It stings a little bit, but it's a part of life. We going to get stung day in, day out,
So it's been about, what, 5 years?
No, girl. Like, since 2021.
20,
we going, like,
2024
2024 will be 3 years.
3 years.
But that's November, the end. Like, we just got to 2 years in November, this past November.
Wow. The case is going so slow. But I guess they have to do their due diligence.
Which I'm okay with, because some people take it like, well, you want a fast case, you want stuff to be rushed. No, I believe patience is a virtue, right? So for sure, take your time, perform your due diligence. I'm just saying, in the process, be respectful, acknowledge the family, consult with the family, communicate with the family. Please go over and beyond to make sure no leaf, or no rock is unturned. That's all the request is. That's what the ask is. And within all of that, there's an opportunity for us to address some of the things that allows this thing to happen time and time again, from Dolph to brother to cousin to somebody else to all of the black men that's going down the same type of life trajectory, premature death. It's like, we got to assess why is this happening so much and what can be done about it. And that whole justice for Dolph is bigger than him, because we need to stop this. This needs to come to, like...
I mean, look how many artists we've lost in the artist community in itself. You know what I mean? From Nipsey Hussle to Dolph. I could just go on and on. Pop Smoke.
PNB Rock.
PNB Rock. I mean, think about it.
It's so many.
And I actually want to commend you, because you could sit here and you can be bitter and you can be mad at the entire industry, but you're actually trying to use his legacy to promote some good. Yeah. And I just want to know what keeps you out of that space of, like, bitterness and, like, I just wish you never got into the music business. Like, what keeps you from, like, not carrying that type of hate in your heart?
Man, because I know where hate is associated with. Hate is connected to a evil, call it the devil, call it the enemy, call it, like, that's associated to something I want no parts of. It's that same bitterness, it's that same hate that was in the hearts of the people who took my loved one away from me. You know what I'm saying? So how dare I, take on that same energy, that same, like, what is it gonna do? It doesn't breed life. You get what I'm saying? And so the only thing that's associated with like light, love or anything like that, that's God. And that's where I have connected myself to even more. Like, always been connected, but it's like that thing, my little cord was hanging out the socket. I need to push it in a little bit more and get a little bit get more juice, because it is easy to fall into that. Don't get me wrong. It's super easy to allow bitterness and hate and anger and frustration and all of those things to take over you. But when you realize that, what good is that going to do? At the end of the day, it'll dry me up like a prune. And I have kids. You asked me earlier, like, how do I do all of this with kids? It's like, man, like they're like the apple of my eye, in a sense, to where it's like they have to see me, and how, if they see how I carry on through in this storm of my life, you know what I'm saying? When they've seen me cry, they've seen me weak, they've seen mommy just all over the place, but they've seen mommy pick up the pieces and keep going and honor their father, and all of the things that I'm doing, it gives them strength. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize as well an acceptance in this grief and loss. We're not here forever. We got a finite amount of time on this earth, and it's like, you got to make it count. And so me understanding that and accepting that one day too, I'm not going to be here. I am not about to be here until I'm 200. You know what I'm saying? So while I'm here.
It's a natural part of life.
It's a natural part of life. So while I'm here, I got to do what I can. Dolph was my soulmate. We talked about that like 2 months. September 17th, I was looking at my text one day. September 17th, where I was like, we're each other's soulmate. Like, look at this. Torrey Roberts had this whole definition of what a soulmate was. And when I saw it, I was like, it's the person that God aligns you with to help you fulfill your purpose. And when I said that September 17th, 2021, I didn't know to the extent. I'm thinking raising kids, doing family stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But at this point, when I look back at acknowledging that and seeing that, it's like his legacy, his death will not be in vain. The change that will be sparked through his name, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to
step into that,
and my kids to see that, so they can know how to continue to honor their mother and their father, for all the days of their life. I'm showing them the way, and that's what's important to me.
And are they understanding?
Very understanding. Very understanding. It's crazy to me how understanding that they are.
How old are they?
They're 6 and 9.
Wow, they're babies.
They're very young, but I promise you, if you just hear how my children speak, and it's because they're connected as well. Like, at that time, they were, or they are, but when he passed, they were in Christian school, right? And so I just think that the everyday, since they're still in that environment, every day that they are able to like learn more about God and what that means and just understand and stuff, it's like, I think they see the world in a less carnal state, but kind of like they can see, well, like, the acceptance is different.
They understand the beauty in life and death.
Exactly.
They understand that death is not always associated with something bad, although something bad happened to their father.
And they probably, I'm going to say that they still see death, because they be like, well, our family got to die.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of family members, from sickness to violence to all different types of things. So it doesn't feel good. It's not like they like, oh, there you go, death. It's like, it's been hard for them. But I think they've learned, like, but you got to still go on. God makes no mistakes. We got to trust God. God just continue to protect the family that's here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
that's kind
absolutely.
of how they...
And they know that their spirits live on forever in eternal life, and inside of their hearts.
Exactly.
So
and that's what my son always, when he says his prayers, because he did, that anger tried to attach to him, and he was trying to raise up at me. Like, I say, give me that. No. I'm like, bro, what? Like, who are you right now? But it was like you could tell something was trying to come over him to get him so, and he was angry. Yeah. I mean, Dolph was like, you got to think, you got all of these people who look up to him as fans. It was like, he like the coolest daddy, he the funnest daddy. He was like
he was
everything.
His superhero.
He was his superhero.
Yes,
and he
absolutely.
was just taken from him, so it was hurtful to him. And I had to like find the proper help to really, really like get through that anger and rechannel it. And I did, and it took some time.
Yeah.
But now his prayers, one of his prayers, he always ends his prayer like, and God, keep the devil away from our hearts. That's what he always says after every prayer. Before he ends his prayer, he going to say, keep the devil away from our hearts.
Wow.
And I think that that's powerful because
Very powerful.
like you said, like it's like, how do you not let that bitterness? It's like, because you got to keep the devil away from your hearts, guard your heart.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and that's going to require daily exercise, whether it's meditation, journaling, therapy. Like, that requires a lot of centering.
Like centering stuff.
Centering, yeah, because, you know, that energy, you know, the energy that runs through this world, you know, it's like you always got to recenter yourself and reset to get back, to calibrate that energy.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah. So talk to me about this clothing line, apparel line that you have going on. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so BMDTGO, it's a streetwear brand for the streets. We advocating for the streets. We advocating for the backbone of our community to exist. You know, we need that. And the thing is that people can say, well, it's a lot of knuckleheads within the Black community. Probably is, but guess what? Knuckleheads still should have an opportunity to change and grow and learn from their mistakes, because that becomes wisdom, and that wisdom can reach another young knucklehead and prevent them from making mistakes, you know, that may sentence them to death or life in prison. Yeah. And so, I mean, we advocating for the existence of Black men to have a voice and to be able, like our youth, to just heal through the traumas that they experience. And so I've created this clothing line that
this looks so dope too.
Thank you. Like,
I love it.
Literally, it's like, this is the message. Black men deserve to grow old. And in my mind, the more and more people that wear, like, in my mind, I would love to see a community full of Black men wearing it, because as they walk past each other, I want it to serve as a reminder of, like, bro, I see you. I pray you make it home too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, may peace be with you as you keep, like, you don't see each other in a hostile type of way.
Yeah,
like,
you see each other with love.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Love.
Yes.
Love. I see you as my brother and you see me as my brother.
Exactly.
And then we can coexist, even if we have differences, because at the end of the day, I see you as love.
I see you. And seeing that, I recognize what time you on.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna, like, I'm mad. You stepped on my shoe, but I ain't about to shoot you about it, because, bro, I want you to make it home to your family, because you do deserve to grow old. And likewise. Yeah. And keep it moving. Like, literally, to kind of that message, that's what's weaved in the threads of this garment. You get what I'm saying? And so I wanted to translate.
And show each other grace.
Exactly.
Yeah, because everybody has to evolve on their own time. But it's a period where sometimes you just got to show each other grace.
Exactly. Even
when it's, like, hard to do, you know?
Yeah, we got to. Because you never know what people going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, somebody may have disrespected you. They may have just got off the phone arguing with their girlfriend or whatever the case may be. And they like, bro, you got a hostile situation, but that don't mean that they need to die in that moment or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like, give them a little bit of grace. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we are, like, that's just, period. We be driving road rage people. It's like, when you experience road rage, you're like, you don't know what this person is. Just give person grace. Yeah. Like, just chill. Yeah. Just, like, whoosah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so mad and angry and mad at the world and ready to just lash out. And I know you probably going through something, but take a moment, deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
What has been the most uplifting part for you when it comes to respect with his fans in the city of Memphis and what they've shown you throughout this process?
I just think it's the support, and it's honestly the love. When people see me and recognize me, it's like people come up, like, everybody want a hug. And when I say that, it's like, and I give it, because I be like, apparently, you know, this is divine, right? But aside from that, they be like, oh, can I get a hug? And I think that, to me, it's like an outpouring of love. You get what I'm saying? And it's like it's something that,
he was
like,
so big in Memphis. I mean, they loved him.
They do. I mean, I think it's just the support, it's the love, and, you know, Memphis, it's bittersweet for me just being there and everything, because, like I said, I didn't lose not one person. It was two people that I lost, and I got a love for Memphis. It's just so bittersweet, because it just seems like the anger and the evil and the bitterness is so thick there. You know what I'm saying? It is just like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And so, but at the same time, I honor the fact that that was the place that he loved. He never was gonna back down and not go and not support and not give. And so for me, I be having to fight my way through it, you know, those uncomfortable feelings, because that's a way for me to still honor him and his love for the place that really made him into the man he was. Yeah.
And what about the fans?
With the fans, you mean like around the world?
Yeah, around the world, globally.
Dolph got some of the most amazing fans. I mean, when they like, it's like his fans, like be his fans. Like I see certain things. They have flood them comments with dolphins. They'll be so supportive, like super, super supportive. And I just be like, it makes me proud because I'm like, he had to have, me knowing him, he was an awesome person. Like you can't, he was awesome through and through. Even through our bad times, I'm still gonna stand firm on. He was an awesome, good-hearted person. But it's like he gave a fraction of who he actually was to his fans. And even that fraction of a person that he gave, people love.
Yeah.
And it just like, it makes me proud. Like, man, you left your mark.
Yeah.
You definitely made your life count while you was here, and I'm proud to say that you was my boo. Okay,
my soulmate,
my soulmate. Okay, like that was my baby daddy. No, but no, seriously, it makes me proud, and I'm glad that God decided. You know, I hate that I truly do hate that he was taken away from me. And we wasn't able to experience life through and through till we was old. I wanted to grow old with him.
Yeah.
But I'm glad
have
that I
some
got
grandkids and stuff, right?
Yeah, we used to talk about that. I really, black men deserve to grow old. He deserved to grow old. Like I was just, I thought we was gonna be able to have that. Like literally have a full life. And so now that has been taken from me, all I can do is appreciate the time that was given to me. And that's where I'm at, in a place of gratitude with God. Like, I could have never even experienced them.
Right. You could have never met him at all. Yeah. But thank you for this opportunity to experience joy.
To experience joy and happiness and love authentically. And somebody who, you know, like, I know without a shadow of the doubt, like, people ain't perfect, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely loved me through and through. Yeah. And I never have to question that when he was here. And even now that he gone, like, it could be a person be like, yeah, how you, girl, gone. Listen. And it's never happened. Like, that right there, what I'm talking about, that ain't even, like, I've never been disrespected. Like, and I tell you, somebody who loved me so good, he was that. And I'm just grateful that I don't know what my life will look like in the future, but I can say that I have experienced the love so good.
And that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for, and that's all you can hold on to. Sure. Is there one song that you go to all the time and you just smile? Like when you hear his music or you go to something and you just smile?
Yep, it's a couple. Forever Vito's song. He was on the song with Vito, and he was just like, "Baby, you got it. You look like a goddess. You got me mesmerized just by your." When he let me listen to it, I was like, "Oh, that's my song." So every song where he was talking about something, which I'm like, "You are talking about me," because it's a whole lot of lines. But that make me feel good. That one's particularly because it feels like he's like boosting, like you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Girl This Your World, they can't do nothing about it. Find me another one like you, I doubt it. Like I'm just like, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you knew.
I'm glad you, and still know, because you're watching me and watching me from heaven and watching me take on your legacy to the next level. So always in your heart. I love it. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today. I wish you the best of luck. Everybody, please tell them the website and everything again.
So it's bmdtgo.com, or you can spell it out, blackmendeservetogrowold.com. It's Black Men Deserve to Grow Old on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to follow me, I am Mia Jaye, with the Jaye at the end of that.
Jaye. Make sure you guys get it correct. Listen, please come back to the show anytime.
Yes.
Especially when you know, you want to talk about the case or not, or you want to talk about the clothing line or the foundation or anything like that. Please come back. You have a home here.
Listen, I appreciate that, because me and you vibe.
Detroit.
Look, Detroit, you fly. You got Memphis ties, all of that. Like, yes, I will definitely come back, and I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you so much. Everybody's tapping with TT. It's Mia Jaye, and thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you.